What is going on, everyone? My name is Peter and we're back again for another daily video. That's right, I just done two there. Today we're talking about how to minimize or prevent muscle loss entirely while losing fat. Now, this is a delicate dance for those who don't know. Okay, now you do. Um, Losing fat on its own is pretty easy. You just reduce your calories over time. But when you're trying to hold on to that muscle, when you've been going to the gym, you've been getting swole, you want to hold on to that stuff because muscle is hard earned, so it would be a shame to let it go to waste over some mismanagement of your calories, energy expenditure intake. Okay, moving on to number one, calories. Okay, I know I always bang on about calories, but there's a good reason for it. It matters a lot when we're talking about dieting. So when you're losing fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. Okay, the thing is, more is not always better in terms of fat loss when you're trying to hold on to muscle. When you are trying to hold on to muscle, you want to eat as much calories as possible while still losing fat. Okay, so you might lose a ton of fat, dropping your calories by by 1,000, but you're going to risk losing unnecessary muscle because of that. Okay, so the more severe your calorie deficit is, the more risk you're putting yourself at of losing muscle. So you're going to lose less muscle if you eat at a 500 calorie deficit or a 300 calorie deficit or even 200 calorie deficit. It really depends. Now, people say just cut your calories by 500 and you'll start losing weight and that'll be fine, but that's probably a decent ballpark figure, but really you don't want to be losing more than 1% of your body weight a week. So for someone who's quite small, if you only eat 2,000 calories at the moment, 500 calories, that's a quarter of your caloric intake struck off right there and then. Whereas for me, if I'm eating 3,500 calories a day, that 500 isn't as much. So to save, if you're smaller and you weigh less and you're less active, you probably want to stay on the smaller caloric deficit side. Okay, so what I'd recommend for everyone is starting off at a 200 to 300 caloric deficit than what you're previously eating at. And as I said, you don't want to be losing really more than 1% of body weight a week. Generally, for most people, that's going to fall around a 1 to 2 pound range. Okay, that's pretty nice. And I know it's tempting to get caught in that mindset as you want to lose as much fat as possible, and you want the scales to be dropping every day, and you just want to keep going down like a roller coaster. But that mindset is going to put you at risk of muscle because you want to take fat loss slow and steady. Because that's when you hold on to your muscle. That's when you're going to look the best and feel the best when it's all said and done. Okay, so another reason why you want to keep your calories as high as possible is because when your calories are as high as possible, your carbohydrates are going to be as high as possible. And I know carbs aren't not some people don't like carbs. Okay, but on this channel we eat good whole food carbs, and a lot of lifters and athletes do. So you want to keep your carbs as high as possible because your carbohydrates are going to be your primary fuel source in the gym. Okay, and that's what's going to give you the energy to lift the weights that you could lift and you're capable of lifting. And when you can lift as much weight as possible under good form, you're going to give yourself the best chance of holding on to that muscle. Okay, so that brings us on to number three. You want to keep going to the gym. Okay, and not just keep going to the gym as you were before. You want to try to keep lifting the same weights as you were before you started your cut. Okay, because it's easy to fall into the mindset of, oh, I'm dieting, I'm a bit tired, a bit fatigued, I'll just drop these weights and I'm just not as weak. That may be the case, it may not be. You don't have to lose your strength on a cut. Okay, as going back to the calories again, the greater severity of your calorie deficit, the less energy you're going to have available and the weaker you're going to get. And when you're weaker, when you're not able to lift the same weights for the same number of reps and the same number of sets, you're not providing your body the stimulus to hold on to that muscle, because muscle is very calorically expansive, okay? It's very metabolically active compared to fat. So if your body senses that it doesn't need that muscle to survive, if you're not giving it the stimulus to preserve it, it's going to have a tendency to lose it. And of course, we've just already spoken about that. We don't want it, okay? So try to keep lifting the same weights as possible. You may not be able to do the same number of sets. You may have to drop the volume slightly over the weeks, but you don't want any dramatic changes. That might be the case towards the end of your diet if you're getting to a super low body fat, which for most people that's unnecessary, okay? We just want to stay in that healthy range, above 10%, but maybe around 15, below 15, okay? So, and what happens, people do stupid stuff when they get on a cut. They think they have to do loads of high volume, have to do loads of high reps, they have to start bringing in all these accessory movements. One thing to remember when you're dieting, unless you're a straight beginner and you've got quite a gentle caloric deficit, for 90% of you out there, it's virtually impossible to build muscle while you're in a calorie deficit and losing fat, okay? So unless you're a beginner and unless you've got quite a lot of excess body fat to begin with, you're probably not going to be building muscle while you're losing fat, okay? So recomposition is quite difficult, okay? So if you're not in that category, get out of the mindset that you're trying to build muscle on a cut. You're not trying to build muscle, you're trying to maintain your muscle. So since you're not trying to build muscle, there's no need to do crazy high volume. There's no need to be spending 2 hours in the gym doing 10 sets of lateral raises and stuff. More than anything, just stick to your basics, stick to the main movements, whatever they are, and try to maintain your strength. If you can get stronger, be my guest. That's brilliant. Okay, that'll be more the case if you're new to lifting, or as we said before, if you're taking the diet slow and steady, which you should be, dropping the calories by 200, even 100 if you're very patient every week. That'll put you the best chance of maintaining your strength and thus maintaining your muscle, and that's what we want, okay? So it's a delicate balance. Moving back over to the diet side of things, protein, okay? Protein's essential for preserving muscle mass. So when you're on a diet, you want to be eating more protein than probably you were before, or keeping it at that level. A general guideline is when you're in a calorie deficit is probably 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. People say less or more. Again, you'll find somewhere maybe in that a gram per pound of body weight range, okay? So as long as you're over, I'm a 100 kg male, if I'm eating 200 grams at least, I'm probably going to be safe, okay? And obviously, again, as we've said this time and time again, the greater your calorie deficit, the further you are away from your maintenance level, the more protein you should be eating to give you the best chance of preserving your muscle mass. Another thing, okay, so we got protein in there, that's essential. Sleep, okay? So sleep's important 365, 24/7 days of the year, but keep trying to get your sleep, okay? When you sleep less, you're going to put your body at a greater chance of losing muscle. The proportion of weight you lose will be less fat and more muscle, and we don't want that. We want to keep the muscle loss to a minimum, and we want most of the weight loss coming from fat, because we don't just want to lose weight, we want to lose fat, okay? If we're losing weight, that could be muscle, that could be water, that could be fat, okay? We just want to lose the fat, a bit of water, sure, but what we all want is fat. So those are just some things you need to keep aware of, okay? Do all those things I laid out, and get your sleep gain 7 to 9 hours, eat a high protein diet, above 2 grams per kg body weight. Keep going to the gym as you were before. Try to maintain your strength or even increase it if you're a beginner. Keep your calories as high as possible while losing fat, okay? So you don't want to be losing too much weight too quick. So drop your calories by 200 and take it from there. You want the scales to be going down slow and steady. And another thing, your scales don't have to be going down every week. There can be weeks where you maintain. There could be weeks You could maintain for 2 weeks and then you could drop again, okay, while keeping the same number of calories. So you just have to be patient. So I'd wait 2 weeks, 2 weeks eating at a particular caloric level before you drop it again, okay? That's going to give you the best chance of preserving muscle, okay? So keep your calories high, do all those things, and you're going to give your body the best fighting chance of having an positive body composition come the end of your diet. And that's what we all want, okay? So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.